Alright, sort of maybe the final video, I guess, before I get back to America since I only have a couple more days. Again, afterthoughts of Japan, you know. In general, this trip, again, not as bad as the last one. You know, it's funny to think that, I'd saved all my money to travel the world and everything like that. And originally I was supposed to do, just 6 months of Japan. And it ended up just kind of becoming basically 3 months because of, the first part of this trip went so bad, basically losing $2,000 right when I got to Japan the first time. And thankfully, this trip has not been that expensive since, again, I'm here for free. I live pretty frugally. And I did luck out in that I got picked for one of those car things right when I was leaving, actually. There was a mission test, and so I actually got $1,000 for that right before I left. So that was, I haven't gotten the check yet. Who knows? But with my luck, I'm going to get back, and they're going to give me my car back, and they're not going to give me the $1,000. But I actually got picked for just randomly one of those emission tests right when I'm leaving. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I won't need my car, so that's perfect timing. So, and I got a cheap ticket. So this trip did not cost me that much, thankfully. But it was definitely, anticlimactic. I definitely feel like first thing I do when I get back is, because this trip was like such a downer. I feel like very anticlimactic and a lot of bad vibes the whole time. Like health wise, of course I'm gonna talk about the chronic fatigue and everything is really bad, and there are definitely a handful of days that I was just stuck in bed sick. You know what I mean, from the chronic migraines and cluster headaches. But what really fucked me up this trip was just I got fucking food poisoning from something. And well, like I said, that Turkey trip, I was in and out of the hospital for 2 months after it. So I don't know what I ate, but if you've been watching the Instagram, I've been in and out of the bathroom sick the entire fucking trip. And I didn't think to bring any fucking stomach medicine this entire fucking trip, because I've never had stomach issues ever in Japan. And so that has really sucked. And this trip has been, man, a lot of I've really felt the unpositive vibes, like I've said. And I've really felt my mood has not been good. Even that last Japan trip, I was saying, like, man, my mood's not good. And of course, that Japan trip, last trip, like I said, $2,000 basically right when I got there. It's just bad thing throughout the entire trip over and over. And lots of bad vibes there too. But, and as I said before, like, man, I always got to, I don't even have, like, can I be depressed a little bit? Am I allowed to be sad about something? And it's like, dude, I don't even have the luxury. Like, being depressed is like a luxury in a sense, because being depressed is like you have someone to help you, to pick you up or whatever, like, or your health is technically still good. Like, I can't even be depressed, you know what I mean? And like, I feel like I need that phase of my life to finally be sad about something. You know what I mean? Like, I've been, my whole life abused and just bad thing after bad thing, crazy story, and then I think, right when I thought my life was going to be turning around, I got that job as a model, and I found out I was good at video games. I had no idea. And then boom, the next minute, oh, don't know how much longer you're going to be alive. Radiation, hair's all coming out. Used to have my mom used to tell me, oh, just kill yourself, get it over with, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, man, I've never had the luxury of even being able to be depressed, to actually, like, metaphorically, maybe in reality, actually cry about like my situation, because it's like, dude, I just think like, man, dude, I'm so old now. And I just remember going to bed as a kid, always scared about being abused again. Is my mom going to let her boyfriends abuse me again and all this kind of shit? Just the volatile and ungood living situation constantly. But when you're brought up like that, maybe, and then you have so many bad things happen, like, and then especially the sickness part, it's like, man, I can't afford to be depressed because I got to keep going, right? Again, if you have someone that, like, being depressed is like an extravagant luxury, so to speak, because that means maybe you're healthy enough to get past it, or if somebody cares about you. It's always like, man, you're dying in the hospital. It's like, if I'm depressed, it's not, it's going to be very, very, it's going to go downhill even faster. Last thing you need to be doing is like in the hospital, doctors giving you your will and then becoming depressed about it. Because like, bro, you're not going to live much longer, right? And I just feel like, man, so many bad vibes this trip. Like like I said, one of the things I did is, again, I had recently, just speaking, but besides just the fact that I get so many fucking crazy messages constantly talking about what an evil person I am. And like I said, this Japan trip has been a very America trip in terms of, all these girls messaging me, or when I see girls in real, I know you're a playboy, you must be fucking everybody, don't trust you, and all these guys. And this is why I'm going to go into the mood and the tired thing too. Oh, why don't you fuck these girls? Who cares if you don't think they're hot? That's your job, so to speak. But besides the bad vibes are just weird assumptions about me. Like I said, I've felt very sort of creepy. I felt the creepiness of others, of maybe the creepiness of life, so to speak. Like I said, about right before like I started this trip, or right when I started this trip, whatever it was, I had finally looked up just one of my haters. Like I said, a lot of the times, it sounds crazy maybe, but then if you think about technically, I don't even know how many people I've blocked on my YouTube. I probably have over 500 now. But just, so many fucking weird stalkers from everything, and not just video games, but other, from pictures being stolen. A lot of times I don't even look up all the people that hate me, because it's just, it's like, I already know you hate me. There's so many other people, but, recently I had looked up this one guy who I always see talking shit about me, and I really felt the creepiness of this guy's always saying like, oh, Clayton is, Clayton is old, or whatever he was saying. He's like, he lives in the past, blah, 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 which is, not true technically, I mean, I'm the one that continuously is progressing all these games, right? I've actually realized that I'm like Ryu in a sense, right? Like, I'm constantly finding the next challenge. Like, when Ryu is winning all those tournaments before they retconned Ryu into being a fucking idiot who never can win anything, and he just turns evil and he has an evil side. Like, originally Ryu, all his endings, were like, oh, I won this next tournament, but where's Ryu? He's always seeking the next challenge. And I kind of realized, like, man, I'm kind of like Ryu. You know what I mean? Like, how long I've been doing this video game shit? Again, no one is like, I had that scary realization, that, oh my God, I really am the best, the best tech guy, combo guy ever, I did Dragon Ball Z just to prove I was the best ever, and I easily did that. And then since then, continuously did it for Guilty Gear Strive, predicted that game when people said I would be wrong, Oh, Street Fighter 6. Look at Street Fighter 6 now. I guess there's another beta. Guess what? Every fucking person I see, like, oh my God, these Ryu combos are insane, blah, blah. What do they all use? They all use exactly the green slime driver rush with, fucking an air juggles, and they use the whiff parry thing. Exactly the shit I was talking about in my videos. I'm like, I want to see people do the green slimer rush and juggles to see how it changes properties, and I want to see how fast the whiff parry is to see if you can do it for bigger combos and punishes. And guess what? Still exactly what the game is. Almost a fucking year later since I made those videos, or what, 9 months later, whatever the fuck it is. Oh my God, it's like, oh my God, I'm fucking Ryu. And I had that scary realization, like, oh my God, I really am the best ever. But unlike Ryu, I actually need to make money. All right? I need to make a little bit of money. I'm like, oh my God, I really can leave. Like, oh my God, I'm the fucking best ever, dude. But, always these news games. But what I was saying is like the negative vibes is, I was like, holy shit. I looked up one of these guys. He's like, oh, he lives in the past. He only cares about the past. He just does old stuff. And I finally looked up this guy, and I'm like, oh my God. He has a Twitch, and he's just an old dude. He's just an old dude that plays old video games all the time. No new games, all old video, 8-hour streams, whatever the fuck they were. And I'm like, oh, why is every stalker of mine so crazy? And like, are they looking in the mirror? This is like, seriously, this guy's, he's like, what? And I guess, of course, he's crazy. He's a fucking stalker, and he posts about me on the internet for years and years. And I only just now finally looked him up. I'm like, oh my God. He's exactly what he's trying to claim that I am. What the fuck? And it was scary, right? And then I had that situation with that friend group, right? And I'm like, oh my god, you guys are crazy. It's like the government has been working with your doctors to keep you sick to give you money. It's not fair. What? Are you the government is work? You know, again, so oh my god, I have no positive vibes. So anyway, I've been so tired, and last night even I had a couple girls, and they're like, oh yeah, you want to go to the Love Hotel, and my mood was so bad, and I needed it. It's kind of like that feeling that I had with that Japanese girl, so many months ago, when I was like, oh my god, I need a fucking bust to change my feeling. I need a bust right now, and I just, I had asked that girl, I was like, remember, if you don't want to do anything, just let me know. It's okay. It's not a big deal. And her reaction was so extreme that I couldn't even bust. I couldn't even get hard. I was like, oh, I needed that bust. And then a couple girls last night, I was like, my mood was so bad. I was like, really? And I just looked at them like, oh, fuck. I kind of need it, but I'm so not horny right now. Like 27 days or whatever into this trip, and they're pretty cute. So I'm like, God, I kind of want to, but I don't even know if I can get it up right now. My mood is so low. And I didn't say no, but I was like, no. I was like, I literally said docio. Docio. Oh, fuck. I'm not horny right now. I'm like, 'cause my mood is so. I needed it. I don't know. I got one day left. Maybe I'll do something tonight. With my luck. But that's weird, right? That's weird. Like, most. I was just like, I'm not horny right now. I can't fuck. Like, I remember thinking, like, I stood there for a while, and I'm like, I'm trying to have like the mind body dick connection. I'm like, okay, blood flow to my penis right now. Get yourself horny. And I'm like, I just think that my mood is so not good, right? And that makes me think, first thing I get back to Japan, or America, I got to talk to the doctor about the TRT. Maybe just try TRT for a month or something. I was thinking, I was reading online. I've seen some, is it called like Tonga Ali or something? I've seen some people have used that. Maybe I can use that. I know I've tried lots of other herbs. I've tried like tribulus, treacherous, and maca, and horny goatweed. I've tried so many fucking supplements, you know what I mean? Because I'm always trying to take the least amount of meds that I can, right? But I need to do something. My mood, I'm just thinking about, man, maybe I really am weird. I was hanging out, friend with his girlfriend yesterday for a little bit, and I'm thinking about, even in Japan, guys are like, what the fuck? If these girls want to fuck you, who cares? Just fuck them. What do you mean you only fuck hot girls? And I'm like, why? Like, girls actually want to fuck you? Like, you should be so lucky, right, that random girls want to fuck you. Like, maybe I'm just weird. Like, again, like, I am picky, but at some point I feel like maybe I'm not just picky. Maybe it's like a legitimate hormone problem. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it's a fucking hormone problem. It's not just picky. We all have pickiness, I like big lips, whatever, but maybe it's a legitimate hormone problem that I am so picky. And, I'm just so tired, and, this trip has been depressing too, having to find bathrooms the entire time, getting sick. I can't believe that. It is so weird. I have no idea what I ate. Maybe I ate something on the fucking plane. Maybe it was something on the plane. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't even think to really bring stomach medicine, because I'm like, I'm never sick in Japan stomach wise. Everything else, yes, the fatigue, the tiredness, in and out of bed, that's the same. Headaches, migraines, cluster headaches, all that shit. That's the same. Body pain, but stomach wise, that's the one thing that's normally good, and this trip has been completely fucked, right? So that's disappointing, but. And I just feel like, get back. I don't know what I'm going to do. Thankfully this trip did not cost a lot of money, since, again, I live so frugally, and, I've saved up, money to travel the world for an entire year. That's kind of was the whole point. And, thankfully, unfortunately this Japan thing did not go as well as I wanted it to go, but I still have money to go again. I still have money for these other countries, so I mean, the money is still saved up, thankfully. Um, Again, it's supposed to be for 6 months, but now it's kind of 3 months broken into pieces and without actually really, you know, I didn't get to go to any faraway place like Kyoto or anything like that because of money, but, you know, at least I've had like the change of scenery, which is nice. But yeah, I definitely feel like too, like I need to do the full lone wolf thing. You know, this trip has definitely made me feel like I've always felt like that. You know, I'm my own lone wolf, dude. And you know, a weird thing too is, you know, actually I was thinking about this that I didn't say. You know, the guy that was, you know, kind of talking about that it's been like a government conspiracy with my doctors to make me sick to give me money, which is so bizarre because that doesn't sound like something fun. It's not like you make that much money off of disability, bro. I don't make a lot of money for living my life in and out of a hospital, for being sick the entire time, for being in different countries, having to find bathrooms to get sick in. You know, like, what are you talking about? But actually, you know what's weird is because now I'm thinking like, oh my god, has this guy always been crazy? This guy doesn't remember. Oh, this guy doesn't remember this shit. Oh, now it's all fake. Oh, the government has been. You know, I was actually thinking this is a conspiracy theory. This is a really weird one because I've been thinking like, man, has this guy actually shown me stuff throughout the years randomly when we've seen each other that maybe he has not been too happy with me? And very bizarrely enough, there's been a couple situations which were weird, and I've actually talked about them on the channel. If you recall, Evo 2004, I was very sick. People have seen the pictures of me at Evo 2004. And, you know, you can see it was after radiation. I was super sick. You know what I mean? You can look, my hair looks fried. And that was also the Evo where I said that Destin was a complete, you know, right, was that Evo 2? That was Evo 2004, right? Right? Yes. Right? Yeah, okay, so Evo, yeah, because Evo 2004, because that was the Evo 2, yeah, Destin, man, you know, God, I'm old. 2004, this is a long time ago. It's so crazy, because, you know, the main image in my head is that it just sticks out about how sick I was there, and that I'm remembering that people have actually posted pictures there, you know, and videos of that. Like, it's crazy that there's actually videos of me. You can see how fucking sick I was at the time, and people try to say that it was fake, you know what I mean? Or it's still fake, right? All right, sure. But Evo 2004, yeah, okay, because God, I'm like tempted. I'm in Japan, so I can't find my computers. I'm like thinking. I'm like, do I actually have pictures of both hotel rooms? Because Evo 2004 was crazy because I actually had even helped pay for Destin and his people's hotel room, which, you know, a lot of people don't know, right? And even the Evo 2003, I've told the story before. I was the only person in that room that actually paid for their hotel room besides Roger. Everyone else used Roger, the rich kid, for money. And I was the one person who refused for him to pay for the hotel room, which is crazy. You know, I've talked about that a little bit before. It's always crazy. People think I'm trying to scam people. It's like, bro, people forgot Evo 2003. That was the one. Everyone else in the room had their whole trip basically paid for besides me. And I was like, I won't do that. I was like, dude, you don't owe me anything. And, you know, I remember that kid. He was fucking crying about that, dude. I still remember that. Him in the fucking corner. He was crying, dude. Because everyone was using him for money. And I'm like, dude, you got to tell them fucking no, dude. And, of course, his story is he fucking left the community very shortly after that, which is, who can blame him, right? He was a rich kid. He doesn't need the fucking video game community. But, yeah, Evo 2004, I had actually helped pay for, you know, Destin and some of his, like, friends' hotel room, you know, for a couple of the nights. And my reasoning for doing it was I was in their room a lot, right? I wasn't, like, necessarily, like, sleeping there all the time, but I thought, you know what, I'm kind of, you know, God, it sounds so crazy. I'm just too nice. If you think about it now, it's absolutely fucking retarded. But, you know, I was in there a lot. I was in the hotel room a lot. I'm like, hey, you know, I'm in the room a lot. I'll help you guys pay. But the weird thing about that is Destin, that entire trip, and again, Destin has even written about this too, so people think it's fake because I had seen years and years later that Destin had talked about it, and he had said, I can't believe Clayton wrote that I did that, blah, blah, blah. He made me seem so evil for doing that, which is He was a complete asshole for doing that, but I had actually helped him pay for his hotel room. These guys, I paid a share of the hotel room, even though I had my own hotel room. And Destin was just a complete asshole to me the entire time. He was talking shit to me the entire time, you know, trying to like rile me up and everything. And you can see I was really fucking sick at the trip or that trip, you know what I mean? Hair's coming out. And he was just a complete asshole. And afterwards, I guess the reasoning is that Bhaskar, the guy that this other guy that thinks it's a government conspiracy, had told him that he was like, man, how do we actually beat Clayton? He's like, how can you actually beat Clayton? Like, what's a way to get him off his game? And Bhaskar had told him that he's like, oh, if you talk a lot of shit to Clayton, he won't want to play because Clayton just likes playing games for fun. And it was like, really? And he's like, yeah, it's like if you talk a lot of shit to Clayton, you know, he doesn't like playing video games because he just likes having fun. And he's like, he doesn't do good with shit talk. He just wants to play for fun. And so that was the reason. And I guess for whatever, and this is complete bullshit. And to this day, I think it's complete bullshit. And other people, you know, it's like, oh, you know, well, we thought, you know, it wasn't going to make you play bad, but it was going to fire you up to make you play good. And it was just like, and that actually happened twice even. That happened once at that Evo. They specifically said that. Destin said that. And then a guy named Brian said that at another tournament that they were purposely fucking with me because they thought, no, that isn't true. It was actually the opposite. And, you know, it was going to fire me up to make me play good. And I was like, what are you talking about? Why would you guys see how fucking sick I am and you're going to just like talk shit to me the entire time because you thought it was going to make me play. And like I said, I didn't talk to Destin after that for 6 months. I was like, I could not believe that you literally ruined the trip. Even if people recall, probably not old enough, but the Japanese actually, you know, came to our room and I didn't even get to play them. I was like, what? And because they were just such assholes to me talking, and I was like, you know what? Okay, the Japanese are here. We got them here. Just so you guys play them. I won't play them because I'm not cool enough to be in the room. You guys are just bagging on me the whole time. It was very, very bizarre. Very bizarre. And I think I'm pretty sure I've told this story. I remember the very last day. I actually told them because then they didn't have a place to stay and we still had a hotel room for the rest of the day, for another day. And I told them they could all stay with me and it was okay. And I was just like, let me go get me some McDonald's. And I remember, it's so fucking creepy. I remember just sitting down, eating I think it was when McDonald's had chicken tenders. Do you remember, are you guys old enough to remember when McDonald's for just a short time, I think they had chicken tenders instead of chicken nuggets. And I was eating some chicken tenders, like, let me eat my McDonald's. He was just like, come on, Clay, why are you taking so long? We want to go sit down, blah, blah, blah. You got to eat your chicken or some shit like that. And I remember looking at him like, motherfucker, it's the last day. You have ruined my entire fucking trip. I'm about to fucking throw these chicken fingers in your fucking face and take you out right now. And I didn't talk to him for like 6 months. And I remember I saw something, again, when I didn't know that the video game community was still talking about me so much, and he had written some story that it was on another fighting game site. It was like it wasn't like a Game Combos or like a SRK. There was another fighting game forum. Maybe people know what it is, but I don't know if it's still around. Maybe it was the next level. Well, and he's like, I can't believe Clayton wrote about Evo and how I did that to him. It's like, man, he took that too seriously. You know, he made me out to be a bad guy. And the weirdest thing is, he had written this years and years and years after I'd already left the community, and I had only like saw it when, you know, again, I guess once I started doing Dragon Ball stuff, whatever. And I was like, man, are people still talking about me? And then I saw that, and I'm like, oh my God, dude, this isn't like new news. This is old news, and man, you had already talked about it because I literally refused to talk to you for 6 months. And now I guess because it's years after that, and now Dragon Ball, you know, whatever, Clayton's doing videos again. I'm afraid someone might look up Clayton's old videos and, you know, see that I actually did this, so let me do some damage control, which is crazy because I told that story about Kenji too, that Kenji was afraid that people were going to see were going to see some of my old journal posts about how he was two-faced and he was scared that it was going to hurt his career. So he couldn't talk to me anymore. And I'm like, well, it's true. I mean, you're, you know, I was like, dude, you are an extremely two-faced person. I mean, come on, it's true. He's like, well, yeah, you know, but I mean, I'm afraid, you know, I have a job now, so I don't want to look bad. Please don't talk about it on YouTube. Oh man, I'm just thinking, God. But anyway, so the point was, I remember that Bhaskar was the guy that actually told him that, and that makes me think, like, man, was Bhaskar secretly trying to sabotage me? Holy shit, right? I'm like going like super deep. This video is super deep, and I'm like, oh my God, dude. You don't think, do you? But now, man, I mean, you hear a guy, it's like, bro, government conspiracy with my doctors? Are you a fucking lunatic? Don't answer that now. Anyway, God, I guess I'm just like Ryu, I guess. You know, I keep moving on to the next challenge and I keep succeeding. But, you know, like I made in that video, I'm like, oh my God, I really am the best, right? I really am the best, but I don't have anything to show for it. And unlike Ryu, who can survive without eating and without money, I can't do that. I need to move on. Like I want to, like I said, I've been thinking about the next challenge. I kind of want to get back into drawing more if I can again. I really need to figure out this TRT thing if I really want to do it. Maybe I could just try for a month to see if it does something. Hopefully it doesn't fucking fry my hair. As again, I'm still in this fucking third COVID shed. This is crazy, right? I'm hoping it ends soon, but that second COVID shed lasted for 5 months, so who knows? You know, just not a lot of positive vibes, dude. I don't know. I need to just go complete lone wolf, basically cut off everybody. There's just no, I don't know. Maybe I need to start using people. Like I said, I even realized that, oh my God, is it weird that I don't lie? You know, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not even like a liar. Well, I mean, in the sense that, you know, you think about, oh, people exaggerate, they lie about things, and it's like, man, I can't remember the last time really going around lying about something to try to get something. You know, it's like, wow, maybe that's a hormone problem that I don't go around lying to try to use people. Maybe it's normal to lie, you know, I don't know. A long video that no one will probably watch, I guess. And then, of course, I need to think about more of these. What am I going to do for this world trip? Because I need to, although I have saved money to travel the entire world, it has to be very frugal. So, you know, at least when I'm in Japan, you know, it doesn't cost me anything to be here, really, you know. But I don't know about these other countries, and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm very, very lost right now, I guess. Oh, remember if you like the videos, like, subscribe, comment, share, support the channel if you want to. Appreciate it. Thanks again.